It's the ultimate New Zealand showdown, North Island versus South Island. Which one should you visit when traveling around New Zealand? And what experiences can you only have on the North Island? And what experiences can you only have in the South Island? All of that coming right up in this video.
We're Robin and Laura, the team behind BackpackerGuide.NZ, helping you plan an epic backpacking trip in New Zealand.
And today we are answering the most asked question ever on BackpackerGuide.NZ. Should you travel the North Island or the South Island? Whatever length of time you have in New Zealand, should it be 2 weeks or an entire year, you need to know which island you're going to prefer so you know how to split your itinerary and how to make the most of your time in New Zealand. And because we love to help you do that, we've planned this video right here. We're going to be taking one island each and we're going to battle it out for you guys. Also, at the end of this video, we're going to give you 5 activities that you can only do on the North Island and 5 activities that you can only do on the South Island.
And we release videos about New Zealand every single day here on YouTube, so if you are new here, consider subscribing. So without further ado, here it is, the ultimate showdown. Which is better, North Island versus South Island?
For this ultimate battle, we're going to be representing one island each. I'm going to be representing the North Island and Laura is going to be representing the South Island. And we've divided this battle in multiple rounds. And round 1 is the mountain sceneries.
Well, in the South Island, we have the whole Southern Alps going right through the middle of the island. And part of those mountains is the highest peak in New Zealand, which is Aoraki Mount Cook. And not to mention all the glaciers you can actually go onto, like Franz Josef or Fox Glacier and the Tasman Glacier as well. And then in Fiordland National Park, it is famous for its towering fjords, like in Milford Sound. And yeah, it's fair to say that there are a lot of mountains in the South Island.
Well, in the North Island we do have quite a few mountains as well, but they're a little bit more tame. We're most famous for volcanoes, including the volcano that was featured as Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings. So we do have a fair share of epic mountainous landscape, but I do think that the South Island is taking the win on this one.
Next up on our list is islands and beaches.
Well, on the North Island we are rocking islands. In the Bay of Island alone we have 144 islands. That's a lot of islands and beaches. Island-wise, we have Waiheke Island, where some of the best wine in the country are made, and we also have Kapiti Island, where you can get to see the little spotted kiwi, which is one of the rarest kiwi birds in the world. Beaches-wise, we have a lot of super unique ones, like 90 Mile Beach, which is classified as the official highway here on the North Island. We also have in Coromandel, Hot Water Beach, where you can dig your own jacuzzi, and on the East Cape we have some beaches where you can sit down and watch the first sunrise in the world. Plus, on top of that, the North Island has a much warmer weather than the South Island, making it for almost all year-round beach experience.
Well, in the South Island, we do have some unique beaches as well. For instance, at the MAORI beach, we have the perfectly spherical MAORI boulders, which make an awesome photo opportunity. And not to mention the Abel Tasman National Park, which is a national park pretty much famous for its pristine golden sand beaches. But to be fair, North Island is more famous for its beaches and has far more beaches and islands going for it. So I think the winner has to be the North Island.
Round 3 of our battle, North Island versus South Island, city life.
Well, the South Island does have some cities. There is Christchurch, which is the largest city in the South Island, really famous for its street art and gardens. There's also the southernmost city in the world, which is Invercargill in the South Island. And also the sunniest city in New Zealand is Nelson. And of course, the party capital of New Zealand is right here in the South Island, and that is Queenstown.
Well, on the North Island, we are the most populated island, so we have heaps of awesome cities. We have Auckland, New Zealand's largest city, with ton of nightlife right in the city centre, plus shopping and awesome food. We also have the capital of the country, Wellington, which is a great alternative town where almost every night of the week you can get out and watch a gig. We also have heaps of other famous cities like Rotorua, the Maori city of New Zealand, New Plymouth, a great alternative town with heaps of surf only a couple of hours away, and we have Gisborne, which is the wine mecca of New Zealand. So I think that's a pretty easy win for the North Island.
Next up is adventure activities.
Well, on North Island we have heaps to offer. We have Raglan, which is the surf mecca of New Zealand. We have Mount Ruapehu, which is the largest ski field in the country. We have the Whanganui journey, where you can kayak for 4 days through pristine landscape. And we have skydiving, whitewater rafting and heaps of other stuff.
Well, on the South Island, we do have the highest skydive in the Southern Hemisphere in Franz Josef at 19,000 feet. There's also the highest bungee jump you can do in New Zealand in Queenstown, which might I just mention is the adrenaline capital of New Zealand. Also, there is multi-day hiking experiences in an UNESCO World Heritage Area in the Fiordland National Park. There's also the only all year round Grade 5 river for whitewater rafting at the Rangitata River, and most of the ski fields are in the South Island.
Alright, she wins. South Island takes the win this round.
Next up on our list is volcanic and geothermal activity. Now, on the South Island, there are a few natural hot springs, like the MAORI hot springs.
But most of the hot springs are on the North Island. In fact, the North Island was created by a volcano when they burst out of the seas and created the North Island of New Zealand. We have some of the most iconic volcanoes in the world. We have Mount Taranaki, which is a perfectly cone-shaped volcano. We also have Mount Narihoe, which was featured as Mount Doom in the Lord of the Ring, and we have New Zealand's only active marine volcano, which is White Island. On top of that, we have most of the geothermal activities between Rotorua and Taupo, and heaps of park where you can go and experience it for yourself. Honestly, I think that's a slam dunk for the North Island, right?
Right.
Round 6, Maori culture.
The first human settlers to New Zealand were the Maori, which originated from Polynesia, and they brought with them a fascinating culture which you can experience all over New Zealand, including the South Island. Like in Queenstown, you can see cultural performances, and on the west coast of the South Island is actually the best place to find punamu, otherwise known as greenstone, which the Maori used to carve into different pendants, and you can learn how to carve it yourself on the South Island.
Well, on the North Island we have heaps of Maori cultural experiences, and it's because most of the Maori settlers settled on the North Island, especially around the Rotorua area, where you can experience some awesome evening shows. You get a show, you get to try the hangi, which is the traditional Maori food, and it's the best way to embrace the Maori culture, and that makes the North Island a clear winner on the Maori culture rounds.
For our final round, it is wildlife.
New Zealand has heaps of wildlife to offer, although we never had a single native mammal in the country aside for a couple of species of bats. We have heaps of bird life and heaps of marine mammals. On the North Island you can swim with dolphins around Tauranga, and also on the Bay of Islands you can also spot awesome whales off the shore of Auckland. Plus we have heaps of islands which are pest free, meaning that they are perfect bird sanctuaries since there is no rats, no possums and no cats to go eat them.
But on the South Island, there is a greater variety of wildlife. You can see sea lions, there's more seal colonies, more penguins, and it's the only place in the world that you can see the kea, which is the world's only alpine parrot. Also, there are places where there's just so awesome to see wildlife. There's Kaikoura, which you can see whales all year round. You can swim with dolphins, see albatross. There's the Otago Peninsula, which has the Royal Albatross Centre. You can also see sea lions and the rarest species of penguins there. There's also Akaroa, which has the largest colony of little blue penguins in New Zealand. And there's the Catlins with loads of sea lions and just so much to see. What else?
Alright, you win. South Island takes the win for round 7. And with 4 points over 3, the North Island is taking the win in this battle. However, each category has different importance for different people, so you need to make sure that you actually choose which island is the best for you. We have this entire video as an article on BackpackerGuide.NZ, so you may want to review this one. We put a link in the description below for you, so you can make the best itinerary for you. Did I mention that this trip was all about your experience and not what we like? Now, to further convince you which island you should visit, we actually have 5 things that you can only do in one island or the other, coming right up. Here's 5 things that you can only do on the North Island of New Zealand. First up, you can go up New Zealand's tallest building, which is the Sky Tower in Auckland. That's also the Southern Hemisphere's tallest building. You can also stay overnight in the Maori village to experience the true Maori culture and try the hangi, which is Maori meal. You can also visit the Hobbiton movie set where the Lord of the Rings was filmed. You can ski down Mount Ruape, which is an active volcano and New Zealand's largest ski field, and you can go to Te Papa Museum and check out the colossal squid in Wellington.
Well, the 5 things you can only do in the South Island include stargazing in a international dark sky reserve in Aoraki Mount Cook and Lake Tekapo. You can also see the Southern Lights, which are like the Northern Lights but south, and you can see them in the southern parts of the South Island, which we will link up in the description below on how you can do that for yourself. Also, you can swim with the smallest species of dolphins in Akaroa. You can also do the highest bungee jump in New Zealand, 134 meters in Queenstown. And finally, you can cruise in the majestic fjords of Fiordland National Park like Milford Sound.
Alright, so that's it for our battle between North Island and South Island. We have heaps of information on everything we talked about on BackpackerGuide.NZ. That is your Bible for backpacking in New Zealand, so make sure to check that out and use it as your reference for your entire trip. We also publish new videos like this one every single day, including New Zealand's biggest gap year, where Laura and I challenge ourselves to do 365 activities around New Zealand in only 365 days. It's absolutely epic, and if you want to get notification about all of that, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. It really helps us out a lot. On top of that, we really want to thank you for watching these videos, but if you do have some extra questions or any topic of next video that you want us to cover, or any comments on whatever we just said, do you prefer the North Island or the South Island? All of that, all of this discussion needs to happen below in the comments, and we are on the comment every single day to help you plan your trip and make the most of your time in New Zealand. Until then, travel safe.